Hey, this tutorial will show you how to use different blend modes in changing the scene's look. So you don't have to limit yourself to the normal blend mode. It's by default all these layers are in normal blend mode, except this blend foreground, which I show you right now what it's for. And so basically double exposure image, as said before, consists of foreground image, which is a lion in this case, and the fill image, which is a road. And then the other looks through the first one. But you can add more layers to this to make it to look more not complicated but artistic, and to tell exactly this kind of artistic language that you want to use. So we have added here a blend foreground layer. If we turn it on, you can see that it blends some of the lion here. If we solo it, you can always solo the layer so you better understand what it makes. So you can see it adds very little, but still it changes the overall image quite much. So if you set your foreground and fill feathering and angle and how much you have put the transition percentage, then it means that the foreground is coming from upwards here in this case, and fill is coming from downwards. Now let's say you want to take off this. Let's say you want to show more of this lion below here too. So this is what blend foreground is for. You can control this separately. Put the eye icon on so it's visible. Then press U, and then press T for revealing opacity. And you can see it's only half opaque. Let's make it 100 so you can see the change. And now if you make the blend mode different, for example, color burn, it's very harsh, but if you put back to, then it's a nice touch, yeah. Or classic color burn, different one. Or then hard light is always giving some interesting results. It depends what you're looking for, but if you don't know, just go and try make something with these, and you can find really interesting results without having a clear picture in mind before. Just play around with the blend modes. It gives you a lot of opportunities. And the same, let's put it back to multiply, which is what was before. And blend foreground, you can see it has a linear wipe effect, so you can change it freely. It's in every scene base. You can change the feather, of course. Then you can change how much it's shown in the image, and also the wipe angle, as so for all the other layers. Yeah. So linear wipe decides where you show your blend foreground part. And the same changing blend modes goes for every layer. You don't have to use normal only. So in this case we have put foreground over the fill, and if we put it to multiply, the look changes completely. We don't want it in this case because the face will be lost, but let's show something like put fill over everything. You can do it freely, it doesn't mess up the project. And then you perhaps want to change the blend mode. Again, something really new. And I suggest that if you make these changes, go first to the final scene, lock it up as we used to do before, open new comp viewer, put it on fit so you see your whole frame, and then you can, this one fit too, then you can make the changes in base comp so you see the final result, even if you have put in your textures and particles and the overall final scene look. then if you go and make changes, it will fit in your scene. Otherwise, you will have to go forth and back all the time. Not very practical. And one more important thing. So play around with the layer orders here and the blend modes. But then you have to keep in mind the After Effects, what After Effects does when you stack many layers that are masked or matted with the same shape. Perhaps you have run into it before, perhaps not, but in this case all our layers are shown through foreground, masked foreground. That means that the edges are exactly on the same place. Now if we put these all stacked like here in layer order, then it will give you some weird, and zoom in, some weird edge. This is just the thing it does because it's After Effects, but you can go around it, and therefore is a simple choker effect for every layer. So it shouldn't come there if you keep the layer order the same, but if you want to change something and there will be an edge you don't like, then go to simple choker and change value to well, not obviously this direction, to the other direction, and it will be less showing. And then you can do the same for, if you have this foreground showing through, or what is showing through there. You can test it when you put the eye icon on and off. You can see what's working and what's not. But in most cases you will want to keep your foreground upper layer and fill inside, or the other way around. And also you can see there is a dark fill and light fill layer. These are controlled in fill controls, as also the main fill. You can see there is 4 properties you can use for light fill, 4 properties also for dark fill. And this means basically that, I'll show you, you put inside the light fill, and it's now below the dark fill. Okay, so we'll put inside the dark fill, and it begins to show. It's just a dark layer which you can reveal inside the foreground. So for example, you want to get some part of the foreground darker, like that, more dramatic. Then you don't need to do it in your foreground image or make more layers. Just use these controls under fill controls, and you can make this part darker, this part lighter. Perhaps you want to make it almost the same color as the background. Everything's possible. Just play around with the opacity and percentage, and it works the same way as other main fill controls.